Hello my friends and welcome back. Thank you very much for being with me again today. Until actually today, I haven't heard from Shoigu, Sergei Shoigu, the Minister of Defense of the Russian Federation, and I started being concerned that they got him somehow, someone anyway. And now I have another article with him. Seems to me that he just came back to life wherever he was. This article comes from Reuters from November 30th, 2022. And he comes and makes very strange statements, I would say, or controversial, as these guys are calling the important news. Russia should use advanced weapons in Ukraine, Shoigu says. So, what kind of weapons have you been using so far? Sticks and stones? Rocks? What did you use? Those were not advanced? Or they just cover their tracks saying that, hey, actually we didn't want to use the most advanced ones, we just used the ones that, I don't know, for you guys we're going to just use the old ones, like the ones that we had in the Second World War. Well, Russia's defense minister said on Wednesday that the armed forces should use new advanced weapon systems in the conflict in Ukraine. And I'm quoting, "It is necessary to continue the mobilization and creation of promising systems with their subsequent use during the special military operation," end quote, Sergei Shoigu said at a defense ministry meeting of senior generals. Shoigu, one of President Vladimir Putin's closest allies, did not specify which advanced weapons should be used, though he said he wanted to discuss with the generals new ways of improving artillery and missile attacks. And I'm quoting again, "New ways of using them in combat are being tested," Shoigu said without giving specifics. In Ukraine, Shoigu said counter-battery fire was being improved by using long-range rocket systems such as Tornado S and high-power Malka artillery systems. And I'm quoting again, "This makes it possible to effectively hit foreign rocket and artillery systems," end quote. Shoigu said his comments were shown on state television. The conflict in Ukraine, likely the deadliest in Europe since World War II, has killed tens of thousands of both sides and raised fears of a much broader conflict between the US-led NATO alliance and Russia. You know what's strange? This article comes from Reuters. So before this war or military special operation, however you want to call it, I guarantee you that these guys at Reuters, when they were referring to Ukraine, it depended on what kind of news they would provide, let's say 2 years ago or 1 year ago. And they would probably not even consider Ukraine and Ukrainians as being European. Why do I say that? I have direct experience with friends here and people who really, if you ask them about Russia, Russia is not in Europe. The same with Ukraine. Belarus, they don't even know where Belarus is. That's for most people. This kind of people are barely, and I will tell you a direct experience of how I was assessed here in this country. Now, obviously, I don't come from Nigeria or I don't come from Japan. You can tell that, even though race is a social construct. You know what I mean? You don't have to guess that I'm not probably coming from there like 99.9%. Anyway, nevertheless, so I come from Europe. I come from Romania. Now, if you look on the map and see where Romania is, and you look at Romania's history and ancestry, you will maybe be surprised that Romania comes from the Dacians, Thracians, Balabatians. The last one was a joke for people who do not know who Balabatians are. I just made up a word. So these guys are very old in Europe. They are very old, that are one of the first, how should I put them, tribes that settled in Europe as an Indo-European speaking language and so on. So coming from Caucasus Mountain and all that. We're not going to go deeper into being a Caucasian, an old Caucasian. Let's put it this way, white, whatever. Well, here I've been taken as a mixed. I was taken as not being white. I've been told, and it was no offense. It was not supposed to offend me or, hey, this guy's, no. They just said, well, you're Romanian? Oh, you're not white. By white people here. And I say, why? Because I have a darker complexion? Yeah, you don't look white. Okay, so this is how these people take not only my appearance as an individual, but they take my my ancestry as being Romanians. Oh, what? Why? Because for them, Europeans are the French, the Germans, the Italians, the English, or let's say the Brits, if you want to call. These are the Europeans for them. Spaniards are Europeans, basically the countries that invaded other continents and did this and did that. If you ask about Hungarians and this, they have to think about it. What the hell? Even though Hungarians are of Turkish ancestry, if you Asiatic origin, so they're not even how should I put it, Indo-European speaking nations. So anyway, not going into that. It's just that they are talking about Ukraine, and it's very interesting. They talk about the biggest war since the Second War in Europe. As I said, this would not have been considered Europe if these guys would not have been involved, let's put it this way. But beyond that assessment, what kind of special and advanced weapons is Shoigu talking about? The ones that he just mentioned here, the two little things that he mentioned, the Tornado S and the Malka artillery systems. These are the ones that he thinks that they should be tested, because I don't see any other ones mentioned here. These are, right? He says it's necessary to continue the modernization and creation of promising systems with their subsequent use during the special military operation. Okay. And it says in Ukraine, Shoigu said counter-battery fire was being improved by using long-range rocket systems such as Tornado S and high-power Malka, M-A-L-K, Malka artillery systems. So is this what he's thinking about? Okay, well, do you have them? And use them. There could be also criminal, how should I put it, act if you had them and you didn't use them. Because you can claim, wait a second, you expose your military to being bombarded by those idiots because you didn't want to use the weapons that would save their lives or at least minimize the losses. But I don't put it past by these guys. It's, we are not that important for them. So you think that they see it differently, or these guys see it differently? Nah. Anyway, I'm waiting for those advanced weapons to see them when I believe it when I see it. Maybe it's just a bluff, letting know the other side that, hey, we didn't even start. That's what Putin said. We didn't even start yet. Well, it was about, 3 months ago. I don't know what you meant, but let's see. These guys say, that Russia ran out of missiles and all that. They still bombard the Ukrainians. The Ukrainians say that, what's going to happen now? The Russians are preparing another massive missile attack. Okay, so that means there's going to be 2 more to go, because that's another information from the intelligence community. Oh, the Russians have only three. That's no more than 3 massive attacks. Well, this is going to be 1, and then we're going to wait for 2 more, and then Russia will just get the white underwear and say peace, peace, peace. Anyway, thank you very much for being with me again today. Stay strong, stay smart, look for the truth, and be just.